Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is West Coast Fred. I like to do video blogging on race, culture, ethnicity in America. This is what my commentary is about on my YouTube channel. So basically, I'll get straight into it. Now, someone on my Facebook page said why Latinos or Hispanic people are not considered a race, but um, a people or an ethnic group. Now, that's for one question. You got to know the difference between nationality, um, race, and ethnicity. Nationality is place of origin. Race is your physical genetic makeup. And ethnicity is your food, language, music, and culture and traditions. Now, the reason why you guys are not considered a race is because Latin America is too racially diverse. You have Spaniards, you have various types of native Indians and different groups of African tribes that have mixed so much that one does not look like the other. There's no uniform look. But the majority of people you see in America who are Hispanic or have origins that go back to a Spanish speaking country in Central America or South America or Latin America, um, the majority of which a lot of you are a combination between the indigenous women and the Spanish men. See, the Spanish came here in 1492, laid up with indigenous women in Mexico, in Guatemala, and in Ecuador, and they called the offspring that they had with these women mestizos. These mestizos would later be replaced, and unfortunately, sometimes Spanish would use the mestizos as a buffer class and try to kill off the indigenous folks, but that's a whole different story. They would use that mestizo class as a buffer to keep the enslaved, full-blooded Indians down and oppressed along with these Africans. When they laid up with the Africans, they called their offspring mulattoes. And then when the mestizos and the mulattoes started to mate, they had other different categories for them, which I'm not going to get into. So what would happen is they started to let the new ruling class be mestizos. And then when the Spaniards went back, some of them stayed and they laid up with the other mestizos that the previous predecessors made and called them castizos. See, a mestizo, look it up. This is a historical term for you guys, and not a full legal term, might be derogatory, I've heard. Now, a definition is a person of European and native Indian origin. A castizo is a combination between a Spaniard and a person who is half Spanish and half Indian. Now, if you want to get full clarity of these 16 different mixtures of racial backgrounds, you need to go look up the casta paintings. Some of you, if you've ever been to the City of Mexico or the National Museum in there, they have a picture of a painting representing the different diverse mixtures in Latin America. These were racial categories that the Spaniards used to keep the other non-full-blooded Spanish people down. Meaning, if you're mixed with Spanish, but you're black or you're Indian or something else. These mixed people that they created. Now I'm looking on the Facebook page and I'm looking at some of you guys and you're saying, some of you said, oh, I don't know what to put. I put white and I put Mexican, I put white and other. Well, in this country, if you put white, you just got to stay white, but that's a whole different story. But to shorten it up, the reason why there's such a confusion is because you've mixed so much with the other biracial children that the Spanish made, is that you don't know whether are you African or indigenous or black or white. Some of you look more white, but you got a little bit of that Toltec Indian blood in you, and you're like, well, shit, my mom was white and my dad was from Guatemala, so what does that make me? Some of you got an Irish parent and a father from Venezuela, so you look more white, but you know your origin. So it's those are this part would be white. That part would be white or Spanish mixed with a native Indian. So that's kind of like you're more of a third European and maybe a quarter, or somewhere in between. You're more like half and half, like half European origin and then half partly, maybe a third, close to a half Native American, something like that. And depending on what your genetics will show in, future generations, it might show more European. And this is why you might be a little confused, because some of you, from what I see, are sometimes indistinguishable from a white person. The only time I'll figure out that you're not really white, or you're white but your ethnicity, the culture you're not is when I see a meet a brother or a mom of yours. Like I'll say, "Oh, you're from Cuba," or "Oh, you're from Ecuador." "Oh, you're Salvador." "Oh, you're Latino." Okay, now I get it. Then I'd have to see that, and that's the only reason why. Uh, I might be confused about what you are, is because I'm going off your looks. You're going by, maybe, in conclusion, some the rest of the world outside of the Western world, they go by their race is their nationality, not their they identify themselves by what culture they were raised in and what language they speak, not by what they look like. In other countries, race is third. In Western countries, race is second, or usually first, you know? And I'll leave it and conclude it like this. I told my adoptive Italian sister, who had a baby with his ethnicity was Mexican and Guatemalan, but yes, he's Hispanic, but his origin is African, mostly of African descent. And because of this, in a pool full of other Mexicans or Guatemalans, which he's half and half, he would be the black one. And I know some of you, and he thinks he's a little, to me, he's confused, because he thinks he's a little black, but he's more white. He'll put other, but brother, you black. Your nationality and ethnicity, your nationality is like a dual one, kind of like a Mexican, Guatemalan, but your ethnicity is Hispanic, but your race is black. Don't be confused. So just don't be confused, or just know why there is such a confusion, is because the Spaniards made so many damn mixtures that after so many generations, the the mixed people did not stay half and half. This half black Indian person mixed up with this white person, and that person who was half native and half Spanish laid up with the black man who laid up with a white person who laid up with the Indian, and became so mixtures, and everybody just became so damn mixed. So I could see why you would just say, like, let's just call ourselves Hispanic, because there's so many very different degrees, so many skin tones and variants and skin shades all in Latin America. But I just want to give you my 2 cents. But that's all. I hope I didn't ramble too long.